Hello, it's Jang here with a quick look at the two versions of the Halo Pelican that Bloks has released. They've got this one from 2011 and this one from 2013. Now it's very important to recognize when looking at these two that they are not intended to be the same thing. The earlier one is based on a Bungie era design, whereas this is from Halo 4 and beyond. It's a complete redesign by 343. The new one is still inspired by the original design. They didn't want to change it too much, but many of the differences, in fact most of the differences between the two, are not because of decisions Bloks made. They're because of decisions made by Bungie and 343. The sizes of the two models are thankfully very similar. That's very important for the sake of comparison because oftentimes too many folks will look at whichever one is bigger as being better automatically. The main size difference between the two is mostly in the dimension of height, as you can see very clearly here. They just go much more vertical. They start off with a higher base with the little landing gear underneath there. That can actually be brought down a little bit more, but they start up higher and then they go a little bit more vertical more quickly. Of course, they also do have full seats in both the front and the back for a full figure to fit in there easily. We'll look at those up a little bit more closely, but then the shoulder kind of section is much taller and adds a lot more bulk to the whole thing. The difference in color scheme between the two will definitely have a major effect on perception, because the original one had just that medium green camo all throughout and then just had black, and some of the stickers were kind of a transparent black. It had gunmetal, so it just didn't have all that much visual contrast. The newer one went with the darker green camo and then used lots of yellow accents, the yellow canopy covers, and also gold engine inlets. Just makes it look more snazzy. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty, there are a lot less details on the older version. The new one has a lot more small parts, has a lot more stickers as well, has more things that you can do. You've got the little armory sections on both sides. Those are opening areas. You've got the VTOL or Vistol outlets that can be rotated. You've got the external gunner seats, which can be manned. You can put a figure there. Both of them have the changing angles for the main wings. Both of them have that to be appropriate to the original, or the originals that they are respectively based upon, but the new one does not have the ability to change the angle of the tail bits. Here's a closer look at the cockpits. As promised, we've got the individual opening canopy sections, and you can see the full space, full room, just normal seats that Bloks does. Here you've got just one up in the front, but in the back there's just really no proper accommodation. The new one also is based on the lights and sounds system, which they only used for one release season to my knowledge. All of this entire canopy is mostly one piece. They did add some pieces onto the sides and some details, but most of it is one piece to accommodate the lights and sounds guns that are built into the front, that definitely take away from the possible realism of the thing. You know, if they hadn't used the lights and sound system, it would have looked better. Also would have had more reusable pieces for folks who like to build custom stuff. Both of these opened up from the top to give you access to the passenger compartments. I feel like the new one is just a better joint. They use larger joint pieces, just more smooth to get in there. But they each have just space for 4 Spartan figures or Marines to sit down in there, with not much else space, although the newer one does have just a little bit of accommodation for places to put a couple of weapons on the forward bulkhead. At the back, they have comparable landing or loading ramps that come up and down. The new one actually comes down a little bit closer to the ground because it's missing one piece that was holding this one back a little bit. But this one is a little bit obscured by the rear landing little struts that come down that are retractable. Nice feature, but something that again was not a Bloks design choice. That's just how it's done with the newer version of the Pelican. This one did have a little bit of an issue where those sometimes will get caught on the side, but those are really just for looks. They don't contribute at all to the stability of the model. So both of them are able to stay on the ground without falling over equally well. nice thing that this one introduced, the newer version, that had just no equivalence to on the original, is the ability to lift vehicles. So they had this little lifting bar and a adapter piece that you could attach to pick up a Mantis. You could actually pick up one of the Mantis, the original Mantis, the first Mantis model they did, or you could pick up a Warthog and carry that from behind. So what do you think of these two, and which do you like better? For me, it's really a toss-up because I've got a strong nostalgia effect that's bringing me towards the shape, the design of this one. And again, that's a Bungie thing, not a Mega Bloks thing, but I definitely just have those little nostalgic connections to this one. I think this is definitely a better model. I think that the level of detail is far superior. It has more features, it has more things that can be used, it has more playability. I really could have done without the lights and sound thing. I think that doesn't add that much, especially for such a large model that not as many kids are going to be flying around and actively playing with. It's going to be used a little bit more on the ground. But overall, again, I definitely feel that objectively this is a better model. But the original still remains the original, still remains the only one that they've done that's based on that good old design. And I think it does, for the most part, stand the test of time to today. So thanks for watching this video. Please be sure to share your thoughts down below and stick around because more videos are on the way from me all the time. Talk to you soon.